Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Welcome to the Pretty Pink Posh November video hop, where we're giving away $20 along every stop along the hop. Please make sure and click the next person by clicking the link in the description below. Today we're going to create a couple of adorable penguin shaker ornaments or tags, whatever you need, using the new penguin shaker dies from Pretty Pink Posh, as well as the brand new Let It Snow and coordinating dies and Marshmallow shaker beads. In addition, I grabbed the Christmas holder additions to embellish up my penguins, and of course the holiday wreath builder for some extra greenery. We're going to start by embellishing the white area of our penguin. For my penguin, I wanted the body of the penguin to be the shaker area, so I took the outside die of the penguin and I die cut that inside piece from that, and then I'm adding some adhesive using a tape runner inside, and I die cut the layering penguin piece, or if you want the body of the penguin to be the shaker, you could also use this with the outer portion, but I used it to die cut my white layer for my penguin, and that's of course what I added the rosy cheeks to with some pastel pink ink. Around the edges of my shaker, I'm taking some thin 1/8 inch foam adhesive strips, removing the backing paper, and then positioning this or shaping it around my penguin image. This is to make the entire thing a shaker. Now, I have a little more wiggle room than I would in maybe a normal shaker, just because you can see the outer edge of the penguin is a little wider than this, but I still want to kind of maintain a nice edge, so that's why I went ahead and did it out here along that outer edge. But you can see if you're doing the body of the shaker that it's going to fit perfectly. Once I have my foam in place, I'm going to take the new Marshmallow shaker beads, and I'm going to add a pretty good assortment of these to my shaker. Alternatively, if you don't want to make a shaker ornament or tag, you can eliminate these steps and it's still going to be absolutely adorable as a die cut penguin ornament or gift tag. Now I'm peeling off my foam adhesive. I will say I probably should have done this before adding my shaker beads so that I didn't have to be quite so careful, but I'm getting it, and I would recommend using a piercing tool. And it's only on any of those straight areas that I had left the adhesive on. Any of the curved edges, you want to remove that so that it easily bends around your shape. Then we're going to take the front of the shaker that of course is backed with that acetate piece, and look how cute. I made sure not to overfill my shaker so that you can definitely see those little pink cheeks and that it has plenty of room to move around. Then I've die cut the beak and the eyes. So the beak is from some Spellbinders terracotta cardstock, and the eyes are from that same raven cardstock. The feet, also from terracotta, are being inked up with a little bit of Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Clay ink. This is to give just a tiny bit more depth and dimension. I decided not to worry about adding any ink to the beak of my penguin because we are going to be adding glossy accents on top of this when we are all finished. We don't want to put our hand right through that glossy accents and smear it across our ornament. Maybe you guys don't do that, but I have a tendency to get ahead of myself and make a mess. Next, I have got my Santa hat from the Christmas holder add-ons, and I am inking up that hat that is die cut from Pomegranate Spellbinders cardstock with a little bit of brick Positively Saturated ink from Simon Says Stamp. Then I'm going to add the white brim of the hat and the white pom-pom. Now, I probably wouldn't have had to add the pom-pom, but I do like having that base because I'm going to take a white pom-pom from my stash and I'm going to glue that in place for some extra dimension. Adding pom-poms is one of my favorite things to do if I'm creating something that is not a card, something that is a tag, an ornament, or home decor dimensional type of project. Then I have already assembled one of the candy canes and one of the peppermints from this same set, and I'm going to glue those to each of the hands of the penguin. Adding some accessories really just brings it all together for me and adds such a fun decorative touch. In addition, I've got some leaves and some little pine branches from that holiday wreath builder set, and I'm going to ink up these pieces with a little bit of pine ink from Simon Says Stamp as well. I am using some Concord and Ninth Grasshopper cardstock and some Hero Arts palm cardstock for my greens. These are going to be tucked around the candy cane here on my image just to round it out. I know I talk about this a lot, but adding greenery, especially to, well, I was going to say especially to holiday images, which is true, but really to almost anything, really to me brings it all together. I just love how it looks. Plus, I feel like for this, it just adds to the cute factor of this finished ornament. Then I'm going to bend those leaves in half. I like the little bit of depth and dimension that provides to the ornament, and glue everything in place. While the glue dries, they might be able to move around a little bit, but once dry, it's going to be nice and secure. Then, because I wanted my berries, also from this holiday wreath builder set, to have a little bit more texture than the reds I've used throughout the rest of the design, I die cut those from some red treasured glitter cardstock from Spellbinders. Our penguin is coming together beautifully. Now, I did die cut an additional backer for my penguin out of black cardstock. That's going to go over the back, and we're not going to glue that down yet. Yes, it's an additional piece of cardstock, but when I'm making something like an ornament or even a tag, I don't mind that extra layer of cardstock because it provides additional stability, but we're going to be sandwiching our little bit of silver twine in between those layers, and that's really going to provide it's going to hide the hanger without having to punch a hole, but it's also going to, like I said, give some stability. I've also added some white highlights to the eyes, hat, feet, and some of the greenery. Cutting a length of the silver twine length of the silver twine and folding it in half, I just knotted it, and then I'm going to tape it in place on the back side of my penguin. It's not really going to matter because you're never going to see this. We're going to sandwich that other piece of cardstock here, and that's going to give it, hide that in there. But to me, that just holds it in place, and I don't have to worry that it's going to shift now that I have my glue. After I have my glue all over in place, we're going to glue that other black backer down. And then if you need to, use some reverse tweezers to pinch and hold this in place while the glue dries. And I'm going to let that sit for just a minute until the glue is completely dry. Next, from the Let It Snow set, I am going to stamp the word snow with Lawn Fawn Lobster ink, the phrase glad we're friends with Lawn Fawn Artichoke ink, and we're going to die cut with a sentiment label and the coordinating die for Let It Snow. I love that the word snow die cuts so close to the greeting with all of those cutouts. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wanted to put this over the top of my penguin, but this looks so cute. Now, I do want to mention, if you do not need to make tags or you don't want to make ornaments, this cute little penguin will fit perfectly on the front of your card base, just like this. You would just eliminate that backer piece and the twine, and you have an adorable card with maybe a fun little stenciled snowflake background or something. Here are my two cards. You can see I made another one that is wearing earmuffs and is holding a present and has a little bit different sentiment. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for the Pretty Pink Posh November video hop. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly love sharing creativity with this amazing community of crafters. A special thank you goes out to my wonderful Patreon members. I appreciate you all so much. If you'd like to join us on Patreon, you'll find the link in the video description below. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do and enjoy exclusive content, behind the scenes updates, and extra perks. There's something for everyone, and we'd love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.